Thanks, everybody. Thanks. I know the holidays are just a little bit ago, but I'd like to remind you of them. I'd like to remind you specifically about the reason behind the holidays, Jesus Christ himself. Historians are now saying that he probably was married. That's interesting to me. Even more interesting is they suspect his wife was Mary Magdalene, a known prostitute. You know what that means? Jesus was freaky. He wanted to make the most of his human form. He's like, Mary, I know your sins even before you commit them, and I'm down. Now you have to imagine this biblical odd couple fought, as all married individuals do. Mary's old late getting home one night. Jesus sitting stewing by the light of a single oil lamp. Maybe he's turned too much water into wine that night. I don't know. What I do know is he's not going to turn the other cheek this time. Mary comes walking to the door. Jesus just lays into her. Why does your hair smell like other men's feet, Mary? She coolly replies, sorry I'm not perfect like your mom, dude. But if you take all this into consideration, the whole crucifixion and going to hell for 3 days, it totally makes sense. Because everybody needs to get away from time to time, am I right? Speaking of religio-political figures, Pat Robertson, a couple years ago, came out for the pro-legalization of marijuana. Doesn't really make sense, goes against his archetype. But it could explain some of the things this guy says. I imagine it goes something like this. What if this hurricane is God's judgment for homosexuality? Whoa, Pat, you just blew my mind. But not in some sort of mind-homo sort of way or something. I like how as you age, your relationships to drugs changes. Like when I was in my 20s and I'd be at a party, I'd be like, man, if I drop this acid right now, will I be straight to go to work tomorrow? And now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, man, if I eat this fiber bar right now, will I be okay to go to work tomorrow? Will the journey be over? Yeah, I'm cool. I myself spent a lot of time sober. Last year I did 9 months sober. And let me tell you, learn a few things. Like I learned that there's something more awkward than drunk in the hill on your friends. It's doing it when you're sober. Because there's no excuse the next day. You can't be like, you know, I'm not sorry I hit on you last night. I just wanted to have sex. I still do. Speaking of chatting up the affair of sex, I was talking to a lady today. It's going really well. But then right out of the gate, she drops the C word on me. And I was taken aback. I thought it was a little bit too harsh. But I appreciate the fact that she mentioned she was a Christian before I got too involved. They're very polite like that. You know what, that makes me wonder another thing I've been thinking about. Can a religious tattoo be a tramp stamp? I don't know, but I'd like to find out. Because I definitely want to lie with that as a man lies with a woman. True begat. Let's see. Yeah, truthfully though, I'm tired of tattoos, you know? There's so many painted ladies in this town. My new fetish, women without tattoos. You know, I see that bare canvas of flesh, and I'm like, wow, look at this trendsetter bucking the fads. She looks so clean and disease-free, which coincidentally is my dick's fetish. So everybody wins in this situation. I'm so glad the ear gauging thing wasn't popular when I was a kid, because while my teenage rebellion left me hideously emotionally scarred, I'm still physically intact, a fact I can now appreciate. My need for form over function is one of the many reasons I could never be a hipster. But the main reason is I like a lot of really bad music. Stuff I will not admit to you on stage. And I don't even appreciate it ironically like a hipster would. I just like the way it makes me feel, which is better than everybody else because only I can appreciate its esoteric value. Wait a minute, that kind of does sound like a hipster. So I'll leave you with a bit of advice, you know. We live in such a nice, friendly area in the Northwest here that I think it's overkill to flip someone off in traffic. You know, so if someone transgresses against you, do what I do. Give them a finger wag or shame them. You know, it helps them self-culpability better. If you flip someone off, they're like, this jerk's got road rage, and they just drive on. But if you finger wag or shame them, they're like, oh my God, what have I done to my fellow man? I need to go home, have a glass of wine, and meditate. Consider my life path. I think my traffic chakra is misaligned. Thank you very much. I'm Jason Eifler.